So as you might know, MeidasTouch did an expose proving that on CNN's panel of undecided voters in Pennsylvania, one of the individuals by the name of Bryant Rosado had a past history of being very supportive of Donald Trump based on his social media history. And we were raising a lot of red flags that this individual did not appear to be an undecided voter at all, seemed to be a very big Trump supporter. And so the question we asked was, did CNN know about this? Did they recklessly put him on the panel? What happened here? Well, we are now learning more because after we published our expose that showed all of the social media history of Bryant Rosado, he has confirmed that he told CNN, he said that he was a Trump supporter, that he intended to vote for Donald Trump, but that CNN, specifically its reporter Gary Tuckman, told him to go on anyway, this undecided voter panel, if what Bryant Rosado is saying is true. CNN has a lot of questions that they need to answer. This is a massive betrayal of trust. So let's just go through the receipts like we do here on the MeidasTouch Network. One by one, we will go and show you the receipts here. So Bryant Rosado's account, it's public on Twitter, now X, says the following. Crazy part is that CNN invited me knowing I was a Trump supporter. Then they said it'll be voters that are undecided, not Democrats. They told me to keep an open mind and to give Kamala a chance after the speech since she's the new candidate after Biden. So I did #Trump, #CNN. He then posts, I never lied. I always said I was Republican. When you look at the panel, it says voters, not undecided Democrats. Not really sure what he means there. No one's saying that it said undecided Democrats. It said undecided voters. And if you were previously supporting Donald Trump and posting Donald Trump's campaign stuff, you're not an undecided voter under any plain meaning of the term undecided. Then this other Twitter or X account started to engage with Bryant Rosado and asked a question. This account called Jeff Clark at Clark Jeffrey says, but it sure didn't seem like you were undecided. I'm just curious, how did they find you? You answered a poll undecided. Were you rethinking your Trump support? I'm not mad at you. I just want to understand the process for these things. And then Bryant Rosado responded. He goes, I'd be glad to answer. I was at a restaurant having a drink with a buddy, and the reporter, who we found out was Gary Tuckman, came to our table and asked, who are we voting for? And we both said Trump. Then he asked if I'm willing to have an open mind and give Kamala a chance. And I said, absolutely. And then he invited. Jeff Clark then says, so this was immediately before the event. How long were you there for? Then Bryant goes, the decision or the restaurant? Then Jeff Clark goes, the focus group. They just grabbed people from a restaurant. And then Bryant Rosado says, no, the restaurant invite was a week before the focus group. Then Jeff Clark says, this is totally not the way they are supposed to do this. There are plenty of actually undecided voters. All they have to do is ask more people. You should have been eliminated the second you said a candidate. So in other words, what Bryant Rosado is confirming here is that 1 week before the focus group that CNN aired on national TV, right after Vice President Kamala Harris delivered her convention speech, Bryant Rosado informed CNN and Gary Tuckman that they were voting for Trump. They both said, he and his friends said they were voting for Trump. So at that point, right there, CNN, he's not an undecided voter. He told you, if you believe what he's saying is accurate, he said that he was a Trump supporter and that he was voting for Donald Trump. And then CNN still, tried to ask him to be on the undecided panel and to see if Vice President Kamala Harris's speech would change his mind from Trump voter to non-Trump voter in one speech by Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, if CNN wanted to make that their focus group, they should have disclosed that to the public. We have here a group of Trump voters, people who have decided already they're voting for Trump. And we're going to see if one speech by Vice President Kamala Harris will persuade them to not vote for Donald Trump. And so we're going to try to persuade people like Bryant Rosado, who have posted things like this, to not support Donald Trump anymore. I mean, here was Bryant Rosado's social media history that we pointed out here on the MeidasTouch network. He reposted Donald Trump Jr. saying, "Hey, Deep," this was on August 24th of 2023. "Hey, Deep State, he's coming for you. See you on January 20th, 2025. And it's Donald Trump's mugshot. Bryant Rosado then responded, "Shake my head," to a story about Mike Pence rejecting Donald Trump's call to overturn the 2020 election. Bryant Rosado on August 24th, 2023, reposted Donald Trump when Trump posted his mugshot and said, "Election interference, never surrender, DonaldJTrump.com," which links to his campaign site. So it's like an endorsement of his campaign. Bryant Rosado reposts Elon Musk saying "next level." Then you have Bryant Rosado saying, "Yo, Elon Musk, maybe reinstate Trump on Twitter," in August of 2022. "Bring Trump back," he writes on October 28th of 2022. Then he writes to Elon Musk on October 28th as well. "Hey, Elon, I have a list of favors." At Elon, "I have a list of favors to ask." Well, the smallest. 1, can I get a verification badge? Been on here since like 2010. Let's bring Donald Trump back. Very short list, please. And thank you in advance. You see the types of people he follows: real Donald Trump, Candace Owens, Donald Trump Jr. He also talks about the global reset and a big global reset. And with respect to President Biden's posts, Bryant Rosado would be in his comments and say hashtag Trump 2020. Bryant Rosado also said, "Thank God for Candace Owens." He also posted this image that Elon Musk had posted, "And lead us not into temptation." And it is, I mean, the image speaks for itself. And in my own opinion, I think that image is gross, but that's just my opinion. But now I want to just show you now, when you have all of that context, and Bryant Rosado saying that he told CNN that he was a Trump voter and a Trump supporter, but CNN said, "Come on the undecided panel." I just want to show you again what CNN did here, okay? So here is CNN calling in its undecided panel. Here's where they did it. Play the clip.
Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris portraying herself as an underdog candidate and a fighter. She addressed her party's convention on this closing night here in Chicago. Right now, we're getting reaction to the vice president's speech from some undecided voters in the crucial battleground of Pennsylvania. CNN's Gary Tuchman is in Allentown. So, Gary, who's with you, and what are they saying about the speech?
Well, Anderson, we do come to you from Allentown in the heart of the beautiful Lehigh Valley in eastern Pennsylvania. And we are with 8 residents of the Lehigh Valley who've been watching television with us tonight and watching Kamala Harris's speech. I do want to say they all have something in common. As you said, Anderson, none of these people before tonight have made a decision about who they will vote for in November. And at least one person here before tonight wasn't sure she was going to vote at all because she doesn't like either of the candidates.
Now, here is Gary Tuchman, the CNN reporter, asking people for a show of hands of if the speech made you support one candidate or the other. 6 people say Vice President Kamala Harris. 1 person remains undecided. And then Bryant Rosado says Donald Trump.
But what I want to ask all of you all together at this point, like I said, none of you were ready to make a commitment to any candidate in November. Please raise your hand right now if you're now ready to make a commitment after today. Wow. I'm just kind of surprised about it. We haven't rehearsed this. I'm going to make that very clear. They will attest to this. 7 of you are now ready. Scott?
Yes, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris.
Andy?
Yeah, Kamala Harris, yes.
Donna?
Yes, I'm voting for her also.
Sean? Sean?
Yes, Kamala.
Sabrina?
Kamala.
Patrick?
Kamala.
Brian?
Trump.
Trump. And finally, Lindsay.
Still probably not voting.
Still probably you don't like either of them.
Nope.
And then here, Gary Tuchman asks Brian Torsato, why he did what he did. And just watch what Gary Tuchman says, though. Gary Tuchman, the CNN reporter, really goes in here on saying, you were undecided a week ago. You said you didn't know who you were going to support. That directly contradicts what Brian Torsato says he told CNN. Here, play this clip.
And Brian, you decided on Trump. What about tonight? Because when we met last week, you were undecided. What about tonight made you decide you were going to vote for Trump?
Her speech was great. I like how she went into personal history again. It was just not moving for me.
But it made you think that Trump's a better candidate than her.
He's here for it. He's a little bit more aggressive. She's aggressive in her way, but I think she'll be aggressive in the next term.
So Trump over Harris for you, Harris over Trump for most of you. What I will tell you, 75 days now until Election Day. So Lindsay, you have a few more nights to sleep on it. Thank you all for coming and joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anderson, back to you.
Gary Tuchman, thanks. That was fascinating.
And here's Brian Torsato's explanation where he says he gave Vice President Kamala Harris a C and why he gave her a C.
For women.
And Brian, you're in real estate. You're a nice guy too, like everyone in this panel, and you gave the only C. How come you gave a C?
She wasn't clear enough on the policies. She did speak a lot of her personal history, which was great, but I still don't feel like she's ready. I feel like more so she should wait. I don't want to, per se, vote for someone that is a backup.
All right, well, but I'm going to ask you shortly. You're obviously not ready to vote for Kamala Harris.
Right.
I'm sure about that.
Right.
Now, I do want to say this as well. One of the posts that Brian Torsato made also threatened MeidasTouch. I'm not really sure why he's threatening MeidasTouch. We literally just reported on his past social media posts, and he's saying now he's a Trump voter and a Trump supporter. But here's what he says. He goes, if you look at the headline for CNN, it says voters clearly, not undecided Democrats. It's undecided voters. But I hope at MeidasTouch is lawyered up for defamation of my character and business at Elon Musk, at real Donald Trump, at CNN. And I'm just going to say this. I'm a lawyer. So I don't need to be lawyered up, okay? This isn't defamation when we are posting what you've previously said. And also, if you supported Trump in the past, are you saying that it's defamation of your character to discover that you are actually a Trump supporter? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Look, and I'm saying this sincerely, like, if you are mad at anyone about this, it's not us for literally writing about what it is that you said. If CNN actually deceived you, and CNN knew you were not undecided and knew that you were a Trump voter, but they said you should come onto the panel, it seems that where you would be upset at is them for convincing you to go on and do that. Now, I'll give you my own opinion. My own opinion was when you saw what this panel was, you should have been like, hey, that's not what I said last week. Last week, I told you, Tuchman, that I'm a Trump voter and a Trump supporter. I mean, I think that's what you should have done. But again, that's just my opinion of the matter. But, what I wanted to do here on these videos is just methodically go through what was said. Here's the data. Here's the data. Now, CNN has not responded to this. They've been radio silent. It's like, how are you radio silent on this? This was arguably the biggest moment of the biggest night of all of the DNC. And, it seemed that CNN wanted to push a certain type of narrative, and rather than just, be real with the viewers. So anyway, I want to give a hat tip to our editorial staff. I think they were very diligent in their research and their work here, and it's why I'm so proud of this network and what they all do. So anyway, hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers thanks to your support. Let's get there. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.